Hello everybody, Sage Dakota here, licensed marriage and family therapist. And I'm here today to talk about a program that I've created called The 5 Keys to Lasting Love, Healing Mother and Father Wounds to Create the Love You Want. There's a book here that I've written and I will put the link down below. So just look at that if you'd like to purchase one of these books. This is the paperback. It's also available in ebook format. Both of those versions are available on Amazon. So I created this program because a lot of people struggle with relationships. It's one of the most difficult challenges for many of the people I work with. And while I was going through a period in my career where I was doing a lot of couples counseling, I started noticing a pattern. And that is that the kinds of challenges people were coming up against in their relationships were directly related to the challenges they had in their families growing up. And this is nothing new in psychology. Going back to Sigmund Freud, looking at, your childhood traumas or experiences you had with your parents growing up and how it impacts your worldview, your psychological health, and so on. And then after Sigmund Freud, there was another kind of therapeutic modality called object relations, and I talk about that in the book. And the idea is that when we're children, everybody around us is sort of almost like an object. We project our needs onto these people, our parents primarily. And the way that we create relationships is imprinted on us by those early relationships with parents or parental figures. And so what happens is, if we have anything that is not resolved as related to our relationship with our mother or father or both, it is going to show up in our romantic relationship. When we get close to someone and we open our heart up and we have strong emotional feelings for them, then any unresolved, it doesn't even have to be a trauma, but anything that's unresolved related to our parents is going to show up in that relationship. And it's not necessarily something we're going to be consciously aware of. So what I decided to do was integrate art therapy into this process. Because with art therapy, you can access the subconscious mind. So you don't have to be consciously aware of the reasons why you happen to behave in a certain way in your relationship or look at your partner a certain way. And the art will help you access these thoughts and these feelings. So for example, in the book I explain this, one of the women who volunteered to do some of the art for my book, she drew a picture of her mother singing her a lullaby when she was a little girl. And she didn't realize when she drew the picture that she didn't put any arms on her mother in the picture. Well, this young lady's mother never hugged her when she was growing up. So that was her subconscious mind not putting the arms on her mother in the picture, and she didn't even realize that she hadn't put the arms on there. She thought she forgot when I pointed it out. And I said, no, you didn't forget. You didn't put arms because your mother never hugged you. And what do we hug people with? Our arms. So it made total sense. So through the process of making these art pieces, you start to have a communication with your subconscious. So as an example, I will show you something. So I talk about this in the book too. This is something I made. So during the process of healing the mother and father wounds, you will be making art pieces of happy memories with each parent and unhappy memories with each parent. Now, you don't have to be an artist to do this, okay? The woman I was just talking about who drew the pictures, they were very simple drawings. A child could have drawn them. They were very simplistic. But it's not about the skill of the artistry. It's about what comes up while you're making it and what you realize after you make it. So this was my happy mother memory. My mother and I planted a tree together when I was about 6 or 7 years of age. And it was a peach tree. And we planted it, and about 4 days later, there was a rainstorm at night, and I had a dream when I was sleeping that the tree had fallen over. And I got up in the morning kind of in a panic. I ran to the window of my bedroom, which was on the second floor of the house, and I looked down, and the peach tree, sure enough, had fallen over in the storm during the night. So I was very upset, and I ran downstairs to tell my mother, and I wanted her to come outside with me and try to fix the tree. And, my guess is the roots were probably broken and, had torn off, and there was no way to replant it. It was probably not going to survive. But I ran down to talk to my mother about it, and she just kind of acted like it was no big deal. At least while I was making this, I was remembering that. But from my current perspective, with the knowledge I have now, and with my understanding as an adult and as a therapist, I knew that my mother was depressed. But at the time, when I was a child, I thought she didn't care about me. But in reality, she just didn't care about the tree. But as children, everything in our world is an extension of us. So the tree was like an extension of me, and I felt like she didn't care about me. But through the process of creating this, I realized, oh, she just didn't care about the tree, and she was so depressed. Like, it wasn't on her radar anymore. And she didn't have the emotional intelligence to help me through that. She didn't take me outside and sit with me and look at the tree and say, look at the roots, and they're broken and we can't replant it. I'm so sorry, but maybe next spring we'll plant another tree. None of that. So the tree never got to grow, and it never got to bear fruit. So what I did was what I call in the book a shamanic redo. That's where you take something that happened and you remake it in the art as if what you wanted to happen would happen or would have happened. So I put a brace around the tree, added a whole bunch more branches, and put peaches on the tree. So it got to bear fruit. So these are the kinds of exercises you would be doing if you decided to go through this process. And I do also teach workshops online on Zoom on this process, the 5 keys to lasting love. So if you're interested in taking one of my workshops, please feel free to leave your information below. If you don't feel comfortable leaving, you can just mention your name and just say you're interested. But if you really want to reach out to me, look for my Facebook page, the 5 Keys to Lasting Love, and you can send a message through that. And then I will let you know when the next workshop is going to happen. Usually I wait until I have at least 10 people or so that want to take the workshop, and then I'll have another one. So hopefully this has been interesting, and if you want to learn more about it, like I said, feel free to check out the book at the link below. Okay, thank you.